We'll start on the line that begins Hu Dapikas Asati Kunin. And it is 9 lines from the top. We're speaking of the sphirot. We're saying the sphirot are also shames. Like we discussed the principle of a shame, of the name. And then there is the sphirot, the way they are contained within the Ayin Soif before the Gilui, the way they're in Keser. And then when there is the Gilui, this is the Kriyas Hashem. This is the name as it's being called. The way they are in the source, it's called Etzem Hashem. And then there is the Gilui, the Spashtus Hashem, the Gilui Hashem. So we'll say inside, and I want to discuss this a little bit. Hes sphirot, k'moi shehin klulim b'oirin soiv hama'atzil. The sphira is in the state and the level where they are klulim, they are included, they are part of the Ayin of hama'atzil. Arehim gamkin b'bchinas shemes. There too, they are in the category of shemes, of only names, not the etzem. Rak, except Shezehu Bechinat Etzem Hashem. But there, this is the Bechinat, what's called in the Shem itself, this is the Etzem Hashem rather than the Gilui Hashem, the Hashpachas Hashem, Kriyas Hashem. So I thought that it would behoove us to try to get into this principle of Etzem Hashem and Kriyas Hashem. So we have used the muscle, the metaphor of a home and the furnishings of the home, all the amenities that come with the home. The amenities and the shemas, the furnishings of the home are a necessary part of the home, but there's what's contained in the principle of a home. This is like the shemas, the spheres. And then there is the actual gili of it, the way it is contained in the essence of the home, and then the way it actually surfaces. But here's the point which I'd like to focus in. We spoke many times in the past that this Inyan, Odom shein le Beis einay Odom, the Beis there, a home has a practical use. As a matter of fact, as I pointed out, when the Rebbe in the Sikha quotes, It doesn't say a home. It says mokim lebais. Mokim lebais means a place for a home. So then there is hardly any practical inference, use of that. It's only a place for a home. The actual home actually has a service. There is an actual necessity for it to protect one against the elements. The place for the home is even less than that. So when you talk about the place for the home, you can focus in and recognize the essential quality of this home that we're talking about. In other words, we're not even talking in terms of how the home services the person. It just accommodates his presence in the world. Recognizes his presence. There's a similar distinction when it comes to the amenities of the home. In a home, a person automatically requires that he should feel comfortable in this home. In order to feel comfortable in the home, he has to have all the amenities that come with the home. Within that itself, there are two elements. There is the comfort that they offer. Simply usage of a table, usage of the chair is a practical service to the person. Which enables a person to do various things. Then there is an essential element. What is the essential element? A person can eat standing up. A person can eat sitting on the floor. The essential element is that says no. It is not appropriate, even though it is possible. It is not appropriate for a person to eat standing up or sitting on the floor. This thing that it's not appropriate is not speaking in terms of comfort and utility. It's talking about an essential element of the human being, of the respect of what a human being is. So there we see that even when you go down to the content, so to speak, of the home, there too we have the etzem, hasher, the etzem, and the gilui. The gilui is its practical utility. The etzem is the essential necessity, that it's a representative of a human being, especially of the respect of a human being. This is called etzem Hashem, and then there is kriyas Hashem. The way it is in the furnishing is galbe. The way it is in the essence, it is the etzem Hashem. A home includes all the amenities of the human being because that's what the human being is. Practically speaking, you could say this serves for this purpose, this serves for this purpose. When you come talking in terms of these various services, you're talking about kriyas Hashem, not the etzem Hashem. Like we said, when you call a person by name, you can call him by name, and you can call him by saying, hey you. In other words, it's not just the practical need of calling him, but there's an element of a human respect that goes with kriyas Hashem. That's an essential thing. That's referring to the essential meaning of the name. Okay. Okay, now we are in a line that begins with the word hamatzil. The sphirot, as they are contained within their source, are also only shemes, but this is what's called etzem Hashem. Again, etzem Hashem means the name not as it is being used and as it is manifest, but the fact that there has to be a name. As I pointed out, that the way the Rebbe quotes this Gemara, Odom Shein Lebayis, in Odom Shein Mokim Lebayis, clearly you see they talk about an essential union, not a practical, not a functional element. Ukmei kein yuvon bo'oirin sof shelifnei hatzimtzum. Now, this is what we set out in the beginning. That we can understand this similar principle the way it is in the Ein Sof Shelifnei HaTzimtzum. Even before the Tzimtzum, that's what we said originally. In the Ein Sof Shelifnei HaTzimtzum, there is also two madreges. There is the Etzem Ha'oyer and there is Pashtus Ha'oyer. The Bechin is Pashtus Ha'oyer. When the Hispashtus Ha'oyer Shelifnei HaTzimtzum, the Hispashtus Ha'oyer, that refers to Masha Ola Birtzoyne Yizborech Lahatzil V'Livroi. This refers to the union that Ola Birtzoyne, that there was a will L'maylo Lahatzil V'Livroi, to emanate and to create. Shezehu Ali as Horotzoin Al Ha'oilomais, which means that there was a rotzin that there should be worlds. This is not merely the Oyer Ein Sof itself, but it's within the Oyer Ein Sof there is the element, the cognizance of worlds. Worlds are contained within its essential initial Oyer, but within the initial Oyer there is these two madrigas. There is the Oyer as it is be'etzem, and then there is the Oyer as it contains the principle of worlds. So this union, that the Aliyah Zeros and Alo Ilmas Harei Ze Bedugmas Bechinas Kriyas Hashem. This is similar to the union of Kriyas Hashem, of the name being called, because this is already a manifestation, or even before the manifestation, but the potential for manifestation of this roots. So we are not going very deeply into this. I just wanted to correlate and to, because this is already beyond our reach. And the same is true, even that which is above of the Yin Aliyah Zorotzin. Aliyah Zorotzin means that there was an actual will to create worlds. Even before that, this was above Aliyah Zorotzin. This is that which is in the essence itself. So there too, however you do, it's known Shazeho Gam came Bibchinas Hiserus Kloli Al Koponi. The whole inyan of Oyer as we pointed out, I want to understand it, just to put it in context. We originally explained, going back, way back where, that in Atzmus there is no Oyer. The union of Oyer in Atzmus is a manifestation of the Rotzin. He wanted that there should be a Gili. He wanted to be Nisgal. That creates Oyer. this wanted to be Nisgala, this is already a Hiserus. This is some kind of an arousal, some kind of an arousal to go outside of the essence, which is called Hispashtus. Hispashtus means to manifest. This is a manifestation element. So that's what it says. That the oir that is before Aliyah Zorotzin is also b'bchinas Hiserus Kloli. There is what's called an overall, a general Hiserus, Al Kol Ponim, not specifically for creation of worlds, but a Hiserus Kloli. There's some kind of a recognition of the desire of presenting a presence. And therefore that also goes into the category in general included in the Hispashtus Oir. Once there is an element of Hiserus, a recognition of a manifestation of presenting a presence, that's already Hiserus. That's already Hispashtus. That's not the Etzem. Aber bechinas etzem ho'oir, but the union from etzem ho'oir shalamaylo gam bechinas hiserus kloli, that which is above even the hiserus kloli. This kloli means in general, a hiserus without any specificity. Areize aderech moshol bechinas etzem Hashem. This is in the moshel is what's called Etzem Hashem. So this principle of Etzem Hashem discussed, I just want to bring it back here. Going to the human being. The definition, as we discussed many times, the definition of a human being in his initial creation, before he began to function, he was defined as Adam. And what is Adam? Adam is one who's going to rule the world. That's the definition of his presence, of his initial concept. This is the initial definition of a human being. So that his actual participation, his actual rule of the world, this is not what makes, this is not a secondary level. This is part and parcel of what a human being was conceived to be in essentially, initially. Yet, this is also only a name, because this has an effect externally. Therefore, this is what's called Etzem Hashem. This is the kind of a name, just like you say a personal name, he cannot divest himself of the name. Why can he not divest himself of the name? Because the name there represents his real value, his real presence.
What about edible?
This is the principle of Etzem Hashem. It's interesting in the Etzem Hashem in Rishata say, a human being may say when he's born, you give him a name. When he's born with a name, in terms of Etzem, He has to have a name. Why does he have to have a name? Because he's initially born with a definition of his presence in the world. This is the Etzem Hashem.
See.
So this Etzem Hashem, this is the element in the human being that we're saying a person cannot divest himself of. The reason he cannot divest himself of this is that this is the godly definition of what a human being is. This is why, as we mentioned many times, when Hashem created Adam Rishon, it says in the pasuk, "Vayikro Shmom Adam Yerim Bara." On the day of their creation, He called them the name Adam. What is the point in this pasuk? What is the point in this pasuk? Vayikro Shmom Adam Yerim Bara. What's the emphasis? The emphasis is before they opened their eyes, before they began to walk in the earth, before they begin to function as human beings, their presence in the world is called Od. They already have a name. They already have a presence in the world. Who gave them that presence? The Creator. This is their essential mandate, essential presence. B'yem hibarim. This translates subsequently. Nowadays, even though we give a name after it's born, but it's born with the need of a name. We give a baby a name before the baby is able to do anything. You're not going to call the infant by name. He should respond. He's not going to respond to anything. That identifies his reality.
The fact that Adam Harishon was the one that called all the other animals by name, that shows that they only have a presence that serves the human being.
That's exactly what we spoke about yesterday.
Functional presence.
A functional presence. That's exactly what it is. And the pasuk says, I'm going to quote directly if you're familiar with this. Hashem brought all the animals to Adam, to see what name he's going to call them. All the names that Adam will apply to Nefesh Chaya, Hushmoy, that is his name. What is it? This is what gives it presence in the world. Okay, let's continue just a little bit here. Achla Milo, can we underline that begins with Shala Milo? עצם האויר של המיילו גם מבחינת יסיירוס כלולי. It's what's called עצם האויר. עצם האויר means the very fact that there is an oil because that there is an etzem. And etzem has an oil. This oil, this was b'yomayim b'chinas is seirus kloli, which is before a seirus kloli, before any arousal, before any functional intent. Harei ze al derech moshel b'chinas etzem Hashem. This is on the moshel level. This is the etzem Hashem. Etzem Hashem, like a person cannot divest himself from Etzem Hashem, because he has the name goes out in part and parcel of his being. Ach, except Lamailo above Eino Shayach Leimar Kein Chas V'Sholem. There, this principle cannot be said outright. Chas V'Sholem. Namely, she'eni yochel lifshit Hashem, that he cannot divest himself of this name. Shaharei, since that, ha'oir hu hamshocha berotzin. The oir is hamshocha berotzin, is a volitional hamshocha, as we discussed way back when. U'bichol telohoyir, and it is within his capability lohoyir to bring forth oir, u'bichol, and it is also within his capability that there should not be any oil. Ukmeshin is boiling it. Atzmus is not defined by the oil that it produces. Everything that was created with some kind of an intent. That intent is what gives it its presence. That is the oil that comes in person with its being. Atzmus does not have that type of an element. Which is boiling, as we already discussed. So therefore, if this is so, he does not have this element that any yochel lifshe, that he cannot divest himself of it. So why do we call it etzem Hashem? It's not etzem. It's his pashtus. Except shemeir oir, when the oir is meir, when by his will there is the oir, harei hu b'bchinas dveikus b'ho etzem. Then it has the quality, the etzem, dveikus b'ho etzem. It stays connected to the etzem. Kanam. This is the meaning of etzem ha'oir l'mayla. Etzem ha'oir is not etzem ha'oir in the same sense as everything below that, as an emotional human being, where he cannot divest himself of the name. L'mayla, there is no such thing. Asmus itself has no oir. There is nothing that Atzmi can tell you about itself. Period. There's no it. Like we discussed way back when. Yet, this initial gili from Atzmus, that's what you said, the first gili of Atzmus is properly called Etzem Ha'oir, because this, as Jesus called, stays connected to the Etzem, and it is alluding to the fact that there is an etzem. This is the etzem ha'oir.
It seems to me in the mashal of the etzem Hashem of a person, that the real etzem Hashem should not be the individual person's name, but yid, or human being. This is a real, when you're getting into the personal name already, that seems to be more of a individualized kind of functional thing. Not functional. It's not functional.
Okay, so what is it?
It means that each person, mamish, is a whole world in
Okay.
themselves. That
Now when we
individual.
start thinking about it, we realize, yes, there's a reality in each person. And that's what the Gemara says. Amakayim nefesh achas mi Yisrael, one sustained one nefesh, kilu kiyim elam mole. And chas v'sholom am mi'abed nefesh achas kiyim even tol kol elam mole. It's a whole reality.
Can I still ask a question?
Yeah, you have to. I have to limit. I'll say it because the time is ticking away. Go ahead.
Is it proper to say that the oil of absence is telling us about the field of absence, not the mahus? Like every time when an oil is we had the mahus, now we got only the mahus.
This print, well, from that perspective, then there is no oil altogether. Once the oil was volitionally created, then it is representative of the mahus. Because it stays connected to the etzem and representative of the mahus. Sometimes we'll have to, again, take a little while and again, we discussed it already. Mitzias and mahus. To clearly identify, because Mitzius is not a real presence. Mahus is a real presence. I'll give you a little bit touch on it, and we discuss it later. The wall of the house does not have a real presence, even though you can walk through the wall. The house is a reality. The wall, you're asking, what's the wall doing over here? The house has a real presence, it represents a human being in the world. The wall stands for nothing. There's no mahus. Okay, this is not for now. This is it for this morning. Have a great day.
קידשתנו במצוותיך וקדשתנו כאילו לעבודתך בשמך